Hi everyone, well I'm back again with another Christmas card, and this time I'm using this lovely stamp set and punch which is still current. It's in the annual catalogue. This one that's carried over. There it is here. And the story behind this is that my mum is decluttering her craft room also. I think she's caught the decluttering bug, and she said, oh, I'm not inspired to use this stamp. So she set me a bit of a challenge to see if I could inspire her with this set. I never actually bought this one, but I must be honest, it is really lovely to use. And what I'm using to make this little wavy line to put the lights on is actually a stitched hillside border from Lawn Fawn. Some people are really talented at just making a wavy line and making it look all natural. I'm not. That talent bypassed me completely. If I look like I've hand drawn a line, it really does look like a hand drawn line. So what I've done is I'm using one of these pens here, which is a Pigma Micron 05, and I'm just going across the hillside border. I'm probably starting about 2/3 of the way up. There we go. I'm just going to peel that off, trying not to take off the paper in the background. So I'm using, it's going to be, this card is about 5.5 squared. This piece here is about 5 1/4 and that squared, and then is going to be put on a real red background, and my little lights are actually stamped in real red, Coastal Cabana and Flirty Flamingo. Now on this one I just decorated the top in the stars. Oh, and I'm using Daffodil Delight. It is Daffodil Delight, yeah. And then I've just done these little lights here. I stuck these down before I stamped this, and it worked okay. It's probably not the best way to do it, but at least then I know that is in exactly the right place. But what I thought I would do with this one now is use this little gold one. No, was I going to do, oh sorry, look at me having a conversation with myself. I need to just, no, actually I'm just going to do it the same way. Ignore everything I just said then, because it worked anyway. Because I just want to make sure I've got enough space. So what I've done is I have actually punched out the tops of them just out of gold card, and it's spelling Merry and Bright. Merry and Bright, Merry and Bright, all the way across. And I've used, the sentiment I've used is actually from Itty Bitty Christmas, and that the offcut at the bottom is from the Let It Snow designer paper. So there we are. I'm just going to put all the little lights across here, and it is a set that I've looked at and thought, oh, I really like that set. You see lovely cards made with it, but I've just never bought it. So I'm glad now that my mum said, oh, have a try of this for me and see if you can inspire me. And actually, it's a lovely one to use. So sometimes there are things hiding in the annual catalogue that may not appeal to us the first time, but when we look at them with different eyes, they look fantastic. There we go. So then what I'm going to do then is with, let's find the stamp set first, with Daffodil Delight, I'm going to add the little shine on these bulbs. There we go. Be careful not to get it all over your stamp pad, because otherwise you might, because these are up on foam pads, you might accidentally stamp it on there. So I'm very gently picking up a little bit of ink. And pick up any ink there. So yeah, it's fine. As you can see, it's quite easy to stamp it, even when your little bulbs are on there. There we go. Then I'm going to keep the yellow out because I'm going to stamp my little stars. Once again, I'm using Daffodil Delight for these. There's a nice little string of stars in the set. I'm going to use that. If I can just stick it down a bit straighter. There we go. I'm just gonna, I say randomly, fairly uniformly, stamp them across here, put in some higher and some lower. I find it really hard to do things completely randomly. I always like to do it in a bit of a pattern. Some people do things I think, oh, there's fab. That is completely random. But I struggle with that concept. So then in the pack there's also a single bowl star. I'm just going to fill in some of the space with that then. And I'm just doing some first generation, some second generation, just to have them different colours. And as you can see on this one, I've just accidentally stamped that in with a bit of yellow, so luckily I have a spare. This one I was telling you to be careful not to pick up ink off the side of your ink pad. That's exactly what I've just gone and done. So you just need to learn from my mistakes, peeps. As you can see, I've been doing a fair bit of crafting. There we go. So I'm just going to exchange this one a second. I'm going to put his brother in instead. Then, as I say, all the tops, stamped all the tops, and they are all just out of a piece of offcut of gold that I found. And I'm going to use little mini glue dots for this. Just going to put that away before I end up putting my finger on it or something. And I'm just going to apply them to the top of the bulb. What I did earlier on for some of them, I applied it to the actual top, the little gold piece, and then I kept sticking it down to the card by mistake. So that's why I'm applying it to the top of the bulb. Don't know if that made any sense to them whatsoever. It made perfect sense in my head. Right, so there they go. The little caps. That's what I'll call them. I'll call them caps. There we are, the little tops. It's a really easy punch to line up, which is good. Some of them can be a little bit tricky. There we are. And another one. I hope I'm inspiring you over the last few cards that I've done to have a good look at the Christmas craft items you've got, and to try them out again this year rather than just to use new products. I mean, we all love new products. Let's face it, the thrill of ordering something and then it arriving in the post a few days later is just wonderful. But it's also really lovely to think, oh, look at that. I've used that in a slightly different way this year, or I'd forgotten I had this, or I'd forgotten how nice it was to use. There we are. All I need to do now is to cut a little bit of this. Now, this paper is going the other direction because I'm just trying to use it up rather than cut a new piece. Right, let's just eyeball this, which never goes that well for me, really. I don't know why I don't properly measure it. My husband reckons I'm like that with cooking. He'll say, oh, how much salt do you put in your... Oh, just a sprinkle. I I think once you make things, you just sort of just judge it all of it, don't you, and estimate things. So my red then, that I've accidentally stuck this to, is about, I think, 1/8 of an inch bigger on both sides than the main, than the white piece. So at least then it'll have a little bit of red edging around it, sitting on the card. There we go. Let's just try and get it on equally. There we go. And then I'm just going to apply that to my card front. And I'm just going to stamp a sentiment, and that's another one done. Sometimes it's nice to make a different shape card as well. So this one is about 5.5 inch squared. Right, and the sentiment I'm using is Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year off Itty Bitty Christmas stamps. It's not always the easiest one to line up. I much prefer photopolymer ones for this, because at least you can see exactly where you're stamping. But I always say as well, if it was absolutely perfect, it'd be factory made and not handmade. Right, okay, I'm just going to turn over. This is the reason the card has two sides. And there we go, that's better. Thank goodness, because card hasn't got 3 sides. Just going to trim that down. And then stick that on the front, and that's another one completed. Wedi cwpla, as we say in Welsh, or wedi gorffen. I'm finished. Bit of a Welsh lesson as well. Here we go. So I've got a slightly bigger border on this one. That's okay. I live with that. And I'm just raising that up on foam pads. And I've actually finished these foam pads, so I'm just going to use the pieces around the edges. Waste not, want not. I think my husband is probably wondering what happened to his wife. And who is this new person in her place. There we go. And that is done. So once again, we have been using Making Christmas Bright stamp set and punch, and a sentiment from Itty Bitty Christmas, this one is in the holiday catalogue, this one is in the annual catalogue, and the paper strips I used are from Let It Snow, which are also from the Christmas catalogue. Colours I used: Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Coastal Cabana and Real Red. And this little border punch, edgelet I should say, is from Lawn Fawn. So thank you so much for joining me. I shall see you very soon. Hwyl fawr. Bye.